Imagine this. You walk past a Gucci store. Inside are rows of pristine leather handbags, carefully stitched, embossed with gold, and carrying a price tag that could fund a small vacation. A few weeks later, some of those same bags, never worn, never touched, are quietly destroyed. Not sold, not discounted. Not donated, but destroyed. But why? Why would a billion-dollar fashion empire like Gucci, revered globally, torch its own creations? This isn't just a mistake or an inventory glitch. This is a strategy. A deliberate, calculated, multi-million-dollar tactic used by not just Gucci, but virtually every luxury brand operating at the top of the fashion food chain. Because in the luxury world, perception is everything. And Gucci knows something most people don't. Luxury isn't about selling. It's about not selling. To understand why Gucci burns its bags, you need to understand a secret code that governs the luxury economy. A code built not on profit margins, but on exclusivity, scarcity, and control. Let's go back in time. In the early 1900s, luxury goods were handcrafted items meant for royalty and elites. They weren't marketed, they weren't discounted. You either had access or you didn't. Fast forward to today and luxury has gone mainstream. Gucci is sold in malls. Influencers wear it on TikTok. You can find secondhand pieces on resale apps. The line between elite and accessible? It's been blurred. But for Gucci, and brands like Louis Vuitton, Hermès, and Burberry, that's a dangerous problem. Because if everyone can have it, it's no longer luxury. So what do? They reintroduce artificial scarcity. They deliberately make fewer bags than the market demands. They limit production, they restrict access. And when inventory doesn't sell, they don't discount it like a normal brand that would kill the exclusivity. Instead, they destroy it. This practice is so widespread it has a name inside the industry: inventory incineration. And it's not just Gucci. In 2018, Burberry admitted to burning over $36 million worth of unsold clothes and accessories in a single year. Louis Vuitton has long been rumored to shred or burn unsold merchandise rather than let it leak into outlets or gray markets. Chanel and Hermès simply destroy pieces that don't sell at full price. Why? Because luxury isn't about maximizing sales. It's about maximizing status, and status depends on perceived value. If a $3,000 handbag ends up in a discount bin, it no longer feels worth $3,000. The illusion is shattered. The prestige is damaged. The rich, the real target market, move on to something newer, rarer, more exclusive. This is where things get psychological. Luxury brands aren't just selling product, they're selling identity. Here's the real game Gucci is playing. They don't want everyone to afford their bags. They want everyone to want them, and only a few to have them. And that means keeping supply artificially low, even if it means sacrificing perfectly good products. Now you might ask, why not just donate unsold items? It's a fair question. But in the luxury world, donation is dangerous. If a homeless person is seen wearing a Gucci coat, even if it was donated out of kindness, it devalues the brand's perception. It sounds harsh, even unethical. But to the luxury business model, image is everything. So rather than risk a brand image crisis, they incinerate. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This strategy works. Despite criticism, Gucci remains one of the most valuable luxury brands on the planet. As of last year, it was valued at over $18 billion. And this isn't just about burning bags, it's part of a broader scarcity flywheel that drives Gucci's entire ecosystem. Let's break it down. 1. Artificial scarcity. Gucci releases limited edition drops, seasonal capsules, and ultra-exclusive collabs with artists. They manufacture demand by making you feel like you might miss out. You're not buying a bag, you're buying a moment. 2. VIP segmentation. High-tier customers. The top 1% get early access, private showings, and exclusive invites. This isn't random. Gucci uses purchase history, loyalty profiles, and behavioral data to segment their customer base. It's luxury CRM on steroids. 3. Controlled channels. Gucci rarely sells through third-party retailers. They own their stores, control their e-commerce, and vet every touchpoint. Why? Because control equals brand integrity. No off-brand sales, no discount chaos, no reputation risk. 4. Destruction protocol. And finally, the ultimate safeguard. If a product can't be sold through any channel, it gets removed. Not hidden, not repurposed, removed from the ecosystem, that's the game. Now, you might wonder, how is this even legal? Can a company really destroy millions in merchandise and call it strategy? Well, in many countries, yes, but the backlash is growing. In France, new environmental laws now prohibit luxury brands from destroying unsold goods. This forced companies like Richemont, parent of Cartier, to find new recycling protocols or face fines. But guess what? Luxury brands found a workaround. Some now disassemble unsold items, removing logos, dismantling hardware, and recycling raw materials. The goal remains the same. Don't let unsold luxury items hit the market, ever. And here's where it gets darker. Some insiders allege that brands intentionally overproduce, knowing that a percentage of goods will be destroyed, and baking that cost into their pricing. Meaning, when you buy a $4,000 Gucci handbag, you're partially paying for the destruction of other bags. It's a self-funding exclusivity loop, and it's one that customers, knowingly or not, support with their wallets. Because in luxury, value isn't what you get, it's what others can't get. Let's zoom out. Why does this work so well? Because scarcity drives desire. It's the same psychology behind sold-out Jordans, limited-run NFTs, and viral product drops. But in luxury, that desire is weaponized into status signaling. A Gucci bag isn't just leather and stitching. It's a badge, and when you walk into a room wearing one, you're communicating something about your taste, your wealth, your tribe. But if that same bag ends up on clearance racks, the badge loses its power, and Gucci loses its grip on cultural relevance, so they do the unthinkable. They burn the badge to protect the myth. Here's the truth most people never see. Gucci isn't just selling handbags, they are selling identity loops. And it all starts in the brain, the neuroscience of wanting. When you see a luxury product, say a Gucci Marmont bag, something lights up in your brain. It's not the logic center, it's not the memory center. It's the nucleus accumbens, the pleasure zone, the part of your brain that gets triggered by sex, sugar, gambling, and yes, social status. But here's the kicker. It's not owning the item that lights up your brain the most. It's wanting it. Psychologists call this the anticipation dopamine loop. Luxury brands know this. Gucci designs its entire customer experience not to satisfy your desire, but to prolong it. The display, the scarcity, the exclusivity, it's all engineered to keep your brain craving the moment before ownership. This is why they destroy unsold bags, not because they can't sell them, but because selling too many would break the anticipation loop. Less product equals more want, equals more brain activity, equals higher brand value. Now here's another twist, the resale market. You'd think Gucci would hate platforms like the Real or Vestiaire Collective, places where people can buy pre-owned luxury at lower prices. But in reality, Gucci uses the resale market. By watching how much their products resell for and how fast, they can gauge cultural heat. A Gucci bag selling above retail on the resale market, that's social proof, that's fuel for the brand fire. But when items start flooding resale at low prices, that's a red flag. And guess what Gucci does with those SKUs? They vanish from production, from marketing, sometimes from the website entirely. It's brand pruning, trimming the parts of the product line that no longer signal status. Resale isn't competition, it's intelligence. Luxury minimalism, the next evolution. For decades, luxury meant logos, big ones, flashy ones. If you wore Gucci, you wanted everyone to know, but something changed. Today, a new wave of wealthy consumers are rejecting the flashy. They don't want to be seen wearing logos. They want stealth wealth. This is where quiet luxury comes in, and Gucci saw it coming. Their newer lines focus on muted tones, subtle craftsmanship, and minimalist designs. Pieces that only insiders recognize. No giant GG logos, just whispers of luxury. Why? Because the ultra-rich now want exclusivity without exposure. And to feed this trend, Gucci had to tighten access even more. Smaller product runs, fewer retail partners, more destruction of excess inventory. They're shrinking their footprint to grow their value. And the fewer people that can flex Gucci, the more powerful the signal becomes. Here's where things turn a bit dystopian. Gucci's strategy isn't just about economics, it's about social sorting. Every bag burned, every product limited, every access restricted is a way to draw invisible lines between classes. Because in a world where luxury is mass-produced, the elite lose their edge so the system adapts. Burning bags may seem wasteful, But from the viewpoint of Gucci's strategy team, it's social engineering, it's filtering, and it works. Just look at how younger generations now view Gucci. To many Gen Z and millennials, owning Gucci isn't about fashion, it's about status hacking. It's a shortcut to perceived success, a badge of cultural capital, and Gucci is happy to play into that. Because as long as people believe the product grants status, they'll keep chasing it. And the more they chase, the more value Gucci holds. Gucci's silent empire. As of 2024, Gucci is owned by the Kering Group, a French multinational that also owns Yves Saint Laurent, Balenciaga, Bottega Veneta, and Alexander McQueen. Together, these brands form a status monopoly. They share supply chains, data insights, pricing tactics, even some creative direction. Which means Gucci's bag-burning strategy, it's not a one-off. It's a model being replicated, refined, across the luxury ecosystem. And now, even non-luxury brands are catching on. Brands like Nike, Supreme, and even tech companies like Apple have adopted elements of Gucci's scarcity playbook. We are entering an era of controlled dominance, and Gucci is leading the charge. So what's the takeaway here? If you're a customer, it means every bag you buy is part of a larger illusion, one designed to make you feel special while quietly managing supply, demand, and perception. If you're a business owner, it's a masterclass in brand control. Gucci is willing to lose short-term sales to preserve long-term power. They don't chase trends, they build them. They don't lower prices, they raise expectations. And when they have too much stock, they burn it. Because to Gucci, a product sold too cheap is more dangerous than a product not sold at all. In the world of luxury, fire isn't destruction. It's brand insurance, and that's why Gucci burns millions in unsold bags, on purpose. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more business breakdowns like this. Your support helps us decode the hidden playbooks behind the biggest brands in the world. Comment below. Would you still buy from a brand that burns its own stock? Or does this change how you view luxury forever?